Gautam, do you remember the 21st night of September?
Yes.
You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
That's the Earth, Wind, and Fire song. Do you
Oh, yeah.
remember the 21st night of September? That one,
Here we are. Yeah.
Great song. But anyway, hello and welcome back to Getaway Day. As always, I am Mason, he is Gautam, and we are here to close out the regular season. It is September 21st, if that wasn't already obvious, as we're recording this here. I believe the final game of the season is on the 28th. So that would be next Sunday. So we have basically 6 games left for every team in the next 7 days, and that is going to basically determine everything. And there's a lot left to be determined.
A lot more than I was expecting, honestly. It seemed like there was going to be less drama, but now there seems like there's quite a bit of drama that could unfold over the last 7 days of the season.
Yeah, and some of this is going to be a little bit, I don't want to say redundant from what I talked about last week in my little short pod, but there's going to be some updates on a lot of things that I did touch on. And I think it would probably behoove us to, I don't know, maybe just talk about what we think the biggest storyline has been since you and I have potted together 2 weeks ago. And for me, that is that since 2 weeks ago, the Mets have gone 4-11.
Okay, yeah. But
The
I was
Mets
gonna
were
say,
very
it's been
much.
3 weeks, right? It's been
Has it
3
been
weeks
3?
since we potted. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. So the Mets have been even worse than that since then. But yeah, so the Mets 4-11 in their last 15 games. They were very much in control of at least the third wild card spot, if not the second. Last time that we chatted, I believe it was third because I don't think they were ahead of the Padres.
They're not, no.
But they have just absolutely collapsed. And
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, they just finished off a series with Washington, who's got the second worst run differential in baseball. Objectively, not a very good baseball team, and they took 2 of 3, I think, from the Mets this weekend. Did you see the Jacob Young catch, by the way?
I did not know.
So he goes up center field. It's not a proper rob of a home run, but he pulls it back, but he doesn't exactly catch it, and the ball's falling down, and he hacky sacks it with his right foot up in the air, and then he catches it with his glove. It was one of the most insane catches I think I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, so that's a banana ball trick play.
Truly, yeah. That should count as a few outs.
All right. I need to go watch that because that sounds fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it was fantastic. Then later in the game, he robbed a home run proper. So these are the kind of things working against the Mets at the moment. And it's just been like they've had so many opportunities within the games that they've played over the last few weeks, even going back probably a while. I think it's been like just a struggle really in the whole second half of the season, if not longer. It's surprising though, because they seem like a team that would clearly make the playoffs, and now here they are. They're tied with the Reds, and if the playoffs were to start today, they'd actually be out because the Reds hold the tiebreaker over the Mets right now.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is it about the Mets that, like, what's going on with them?
So honestly, that's a great question. And basically what I'm seeing here is since game 2 against Cincinnati back on the 6th, they gave up 6, and then they gave up 3, gave up 1. Gave up 9, gave up 11, gave up 6, gave up 8. Then they had a close game, 3-2 against Texas. They finally won 2 games. Then they gave up 7. Then they won 2 games, and then they gave up 3. And then today was a 1-run game. Or sorry, they gave up 5, and then today was a 1-run game. So yeah, it looks like they're just giving up so many runs. And I'm trying to look to see if Fangraphs has a way, I don't think they do, to do essentially team splits or like just go and pick like date range for team stats. And I'm not finding one, but that would be, oh wait, I wonder if I could do it.
You can do that in like team pitching stats and then just pick the date range that you want.
Yeah. Okay. So what did I say? That was September 6th was the first.
September 6th is your date.
First loss, and then today's the 21st.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Mets in that time frame have been the 19th. Wait, what is this sorted by? I think this is sorted by team batting average. So the Mets in that time frame of the 19th best batting average at 238. They have hit that doesn't make any sense. They've hit 20 home runs, 20 doubles, 72 singles, struck out 145 times in those 14 games. It's 10 strikeouts a game.
Oh yeah, that's not good. But some of the other ones, I don't have a good feel for if that's good or not.
I mean, like a home run a game, that seems about average. Seems low on the doubles and singles.
I think you're right to look at the pitching, though. I'm going back a little further just to see if this has been kind of an ongoing problem. If you go back to July 1st, the Mets are 25th in the league in ERA with the 4.65 ERA. So it's not like it seems like it's a long-lasting problem, and that's kind of something that we kind of knew about the Mets, that they didn't have like the strongest on paper rotation, and now they've kind of actually got some young talent that's come through, like Jonah Tong, Brandon Sproat, Nolan McLean. They're all up and they're all like making starts for the Mets, but the other like supporting cast guys, David Peterson and Frankie Montas when he was healthy and in the rotation, and other guys, like nobody's done very well. I mean, Sean Manaea has been a total bust this year. They moved him to the bullpen. It's like all the magic they had last year is gone from the starting pitching.
So what was the date range that you were looking at?
July 1st.
July 1st, and you said they were 465?
465, which is 25th in the league.
Okay, and what's their FIP?
Their FIP is 419. So they're actually getting jobbed a little bit.
Well, so the last 2 weeks, it's been even worse. They are a 483, 437 ERA FIP, which puts them 23rd in the league in that time span. But in just the last 2 weeks, they're the 23rd pitching staff and the 19th hitting staff. Like, you can't be that mediocre at both at the same time in a pennant race. So that kind of just explains it right there. I mean, they're giving up 5 runs a game almost. 5 earned runs a game almost right now. They're walking. They have one of the highest walk rates right now, I think. Right in the middle, I guess. 3 walks per 9. They're giving up a lot of home runs, which is kind of one of their problems. They're 17th in the league in home runs allowed in the last 2 weeks as well, giving up home runs on 15% of fly balls. So it's like they're just not keeping the ball in the yard, and that's couple that with the fact that their offense has kind of gone anemic recently, it kind of makes sense. But the fact that they were such, I don't want to say favorites, but they had such a good shot of making the playoffs if they just didn't lull Mets, and then they lull Metted.
Yeah, and this feels more on the collapse side than like, oh, just the other teams did something insane. They played at an insane pace. We're going to talk about some of those other teams, but nobody has gone on like in the National League, nobody's gone on like a 10-game winning streak, for example.
Yeah.
To pull themselves back into the race.
In fact, I kind of think we should swing over and kind of talk about the Reds, because the Reds are the team that they are. The Reds are the team that's there with them now. This 11 or this 4-11 skid, coupled with the fact that the Reds have gone basically 500 and they're on a 5-game winning streak right now, has put the Reds in place to take the wild card spot.
Yep, they did exactly what they needed to do. They swept the Cubs this weekend in 4-game series. They had 2 1-0 wins, and I don't know, like the Reds don't seem like world beaters, but they're just kind of like playing well enough while the Mets are struggling. I was amazed to learn this weekend that before Saturday's game, Ellie De La Cruz had not hit a homer since July. Is that insane or what?
Is that true?
Yeah.
I thought I had watched him hit one.
It was probably in July.
When did I go to that game against the Dodgers?
That was in August, right?
Well, let me just check. That was July 29th.
Oh, okay. Maybe you saw his last home run.
It's possible. Yeah. Let's see. Game wrap. Come on. This thing is going so slow. Box score. Home run. No, we saw a Noelvi Marte home run and a Jake Fraley home run. We did not see Ellie. Dang it. Oh, well. But
yeah,
the Reds have also finally done something at the September call-up that people were questioning if they were actually going to do it. If they did, is it going to work out? And that was bringing up their top prospect, Sal Stewart, or one of their top prospects. I don't think he was their number one, but and Stewart, he's got 49 plate appearances so far, but he has made the most of those. He's hitting .267. He has 4 home runs. He's had a 127 WRC plus and half a WAR already. Like 15 games, that's pretty solid. So that is exactly the kind of support that they needed, because their offense had been anemic as well. So
yeah. And then Hunter Green is like ridiculous right now. He he has really been the whole season when he's been healthy, but on Thursday he had a complete game shutout with 1 hit allowed. Just throwing 102 in the 9th inning. This guy, like, if they can get hit actually into the playoffs, it's going to be hard to beat Hunter Green in the game that he pitches.
So who has the highest strikeout percentage of qualified pitchers? Looks like that would be Tarek Skubal and Garrett Crochet at 32.2% and 31.6%. Can you tell me what Hunter Green's strikeout rate is in his 102 innings, his 18 starts?
So I actually don't know the answer to this, but I'm going to guess something ridiculously high. Like, let's go with 38%.
So he wouldn't be first. He would actually be third, right after Garrett Crochet with 31.5. So a 1/10 of a percent difference between Garrett Crochet and Hunter Green. And one of them is in the Cy Young conversation with Tarek Skubal. It's Skubal's to lose, basically, and at this point, I think it's pretty well determined because one start each. I don't think you're really going to ruin too much there. So,
no.
But yeah, and he's only pitched half the season, but he is a top 3 pitcher this year when he's on the field. Or at least as far as strikeout rate is concerned. His ERA is also incredible at 2.7, which would put him at 8th in the league after. Any guesses?
Tarek Skubal and Garrett Crochet.
After Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
So really, his numbers stack up incredibly well against Garrett Crochet this year.
Yeah. I think obviously there's the going deep into starts and stuff like that, but on a per inning basis, there's very few that you would take ahead of Hunter Green right now.
Yeah. And Andrew Abbott's kind of fallen off a little bit from where he was at the beginning of the year, but he's still pitching pretty darn well. A couple bugaboo starts here recently, but if the Reds can make it into the postseason, I do think this Reds team can make some noise. I don't think they're going to go far at all. I would say if they can get through the first series, which who would that be against right now, the way that it stacks up?
Okay, so right now, I'll tell you how it's stacked up. So they would be the 6th seed, and they would face the Dodgers. And then the Cubs and the Padres would be the 4 and the 5. With the Phillies and the Brewers and the Phillies, the 1 and the 2 right now.
Okay, and the Brewers have not quite locked up the...
They've got a 3-game lead on the Phillies for the number 1 seed. So they're pretty much in the driver's seat unless they tanked their last week. They should be able to get the number 1 seed.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but looking at the Reds schedule, which I think is pretty interesting, they have the easiest schedule of the contenders. They have the Pirates for 3, and then they have the Brewers for 3. And the Brewers, by that time, most likely will have already locked up that number 1 seed, so they're probably going to be playing for absolutely nothing in on the last weekend. So they've got the clear path to go get that number 6 seed in the National League.
Okay. So I'm just looking at strength of schedules here. Because that strength of schedule, I know we were talking about at the beginning of September, so 3 weeks ago, I guess, about the AL West race with strength of schedule and everything, and who was in the driver's seat there. So I was just curious, and like the Reds, while they have the the Reds' remaining strength of schedule is the hardest.
Yeah, because what I just said, they're playing the Brewers.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, so I was trying to do 2 things at once. I should really stop doing that.
I guess it's kind of pointless to look at the winning percentages right now. You just got to look at the 2 opponents each team's going to play. Yeah. It's the Pirates and the Brewers for the Reds. And then the Phillies, they've got the Cubs for 3, and then they've got the Marlins. And they're on the road for all 6. So the Cubs are truly the team that's killing the Mets the most, because they went out and they got swept by the Reds over the weekend, and now they've got 3 games against the Cubs. So if the Cubs now beat the Mets, then they would have totally helped the Reds make the playoffs here.
Yeah. Because the Mets, after they play the Cubs for 3 days, play the
Marlins.
The Marlins, okay. And the Marlins, honestly, the Marlins are probably going to play that pretty tough. That series is starting with Sandy on the mound. And, I mean, they don't want the Mets to make the postseason. So, Yeah, this is going to be tough for the Mets here.
I think it's going to be really hard. Yeah,
Now,
because
where does a team like the Diamondbacks fall in here? Because they're not out of it either.
no, they're the only team that I would say in the National League is probably still in it. They're only one game behind the Mets and the Reds, but they've also got a tough schedule. They've got um, the Dodgers and the Padres to close things out, and both
Mm.
of those teams are still not done playing. Maybe they will by the weekend, but at least for the early week, both those two teams are still vying for seeding and winning the West outright. And
Well, and since the Padres are matched up with the Brewers here for the first three of the week, they might need those last three games just to make it. Like, I mean, they've got what, a 5-game lead? Yeah, they pretty much have to lose out. But
yeah, I don't. They still want to, they could potentially still catch the Cubs. They're only 3 games back.
yeah, so there's so much that could happen here still.
So there's quite a few like meaningful games, right? Brewers, Diamondbacks.
The Dodgers still
Not.
haven't technically clinched the division.
Yep.
So, well, dang. So, I think it might be worth talking about the similar thing here in the American League, though, because the National League's got a lot going on, but we know 4 of the 6 teams for sure. We just don't know what seed they're going to be. You know how many teams have clinched the postseason in the American League with 1 week to go?
None.
1.
The Blue Jays.
They clinched it today.
Yesterday. Today, yeah.
So yeah, the Blue Jays have clinched it. They are not sure if they're going to be a division winner or if they're going to be a wild card. The way it's sitting right now, they're in the driver's seat for the division with a 2-game lead over the Yankees and a 5-game lead over the Red Sox. So it really, at this point, is a 2-horse race between the Yankees and the Jays. Who are their matchups here?
Okay, so
looks like the Jays get the Red Sox.
Seed. Oh, who they're playing? Yeah, I don't know who they're playing.
The Yankees get the White Sox though.
Okay.
And the White Sox have to go 5-1 to not lose 100 games again this year. So something tells me that the Yankees might win that series. But so if the Jays come away with the series win, the Red Sox are just completely relegated to wild card. And they will keep pace with the Yankees at least. And then final series, Jays get the Rays and the Yankees get the Orioles. So they both get, I don't want to say an easy final series, but this could legitimately come down to, can the Yankees win 2 more games than the Jays because they have 2 easy opponents versus the Jays who have a tough opponent and in the middle. And then who has the tiebreaker between those two? I think the Jays, right?
I think that's here somewhere. They do have the tiebreaker. Yeah, the Jays have the tiebreaker over the Yankees.
Okay, so really the Yankees have to win 3.
Yes.
3 more than.
So that's pretty hard to do within a 6-game span.
Yeah.
Something terrible would have to happen for the
Jays just need to go 500 and the Yankees have to lose once.
Yeah.
So it's very much the Jays division to lose. It would take a complete and utter collapse for that to not happen. But based on how we just talked about the Mets.
Yeah, speaking of the Mets, the kind of the compliment in the American League is the Tigers. While nobody's been paying attention to the Tigers for literally months because they've been, having leads up to like 10 games in the division, that lead has now been withered down to one game. Um, with the Guardians getting ridiculously hot, they won 10 games in a row before today's game where they did lose. And then the Tigers themselves have lost like 6 in a row.
Yep.
So those two things happening at the exact same time. And now we lead into the biggest matchup, I would say, of the early week. It's between the Tigers and the Guardians. So it's like a massive series that's most likely going to swing things one way or the other.
Yeah, this is a
And
must-win series for the Tigers. If they do, they likely clinch the division.
yeah,
But if they lose it, well, then they're tied. And it's who
yeah,
can win more out of their final 3 games.
right. And if the Mets vibes were bad, to me, the Tigers are just reeling. They have not been playing well at all. Um, it's just they've just like fallen flat on their faces, and all they had to do was kind of coast into the playoffs, and they haven't been able to do that. They just yesterday, like they Torkelson hit a huge home run late in the game to give them a 2-run lead against Atlanta, and they go on to lose that game in the last couple of innings. It's just like even against lesser competition, the Braves obviously having a down season. They got swept by the Braves over the weekend.
I will say the Braves have been hot.
They
Like,
have. They won
hot.
like 8 in a
They've
row.
won 8 in a
Yeah.
row, yeah.
So I don't know. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be watching that series if I can, between the Guardians and Detroit. Um, it's like if you believe in momentum, this is the series to watch because they've been clearly heading in opposite directions. Um, the Guardians had a series with the Twins over the weekend. They had a doubleheader yesterday, and they shut out the Twins in both games of the doubleheader, 8-0 and 6-0. So it's like they're kind of clicking right now. And every time we've counted the Guardians out, they always bounce back and they go on these hot stretches because they just had a stretch in late June, July timeframe where they lost 10 in a row or something.
I was going to
And
say, they've both
normally that
won
would
and lost 10 in a row at some point this year, right?
correct, yeah. So they're the most kind of resilient team, but they also will have these extended down periods, and they have not, I guess, been completely knocked out. And then with the Tigers' recent poor play, they just have kept the Guardians relevant.
Okay, so let's say, for argument's sake, the Guardians take the series 2-1, tie
Okay.
up for the year. It comes down to the final series. We have the Tigers against the Red Sox. We have the Guardians, or we have the Rangers at the Guardians.
Okay.
Who do you
Well,
like better if it comes down to that final series? The Guardians at home against the
well,
Rangers, or the Tigers on the road against the Red Sox
that
fighting for
definitely sounds
seeding?
harder. Plus, it's pretty likely that the Red Sox are still going to be playing for something at that point. That they may not have clinched. They probably will not have clinched until the last series, just the way things are looking right now. Texas is like nearly mathematically eliminated. So by the weekend, they may not really be as invested in those games as Cleveland, obviously.
Yeah, Texas is 5.5 back. So, um, and that's a. Oh, yeah, I guess Houston and Seattle's still going on right now, isn't it?
Yep.
Um, so they'll be 5 back of Houston, the way that it's standing right now with the Mariners up 7-1 in the top of the 7th.
So they're as good as eliminated as you can
Yeah.
get.
Yeah, because the Astros win a single game the rest of the year and the Rangers are out. So they're
Yep.
out, basically. Yeah. So, but I think we should probably talk about the fact that since we talked last, Houston wasn't the one that was in the wild card spot last time. It was Seattle. And then here a couple days ago, Seattle leapfrogged over them, and is this a 4-game series that they're playing right now? I think it is, right?
No, it's a 3-game series. So they both came into the series on Friday with the same record. Seattle's
Okay.
now won the first 2, and they're winning big in Game 3. So they're about to sweep the Astros and take a 3-game lead. They're basically in great shape now to win the division.
Yeah. And they've done it, and we've talked about them a lot, but they're doing it on the back of Cal Raleigh, who is continuing to do some crazy things. He hit his 58th home run today. 58.
58. He beat Ken Griffey Jr.'s Mariners record of 56 that he did 2 times. It's amazing.
And he's beat Mickey Mantle's record for home runs by a switch hitter. And he beat Salvador Perez's record for home runs by a catcher. And he's only 2 home runs with 6 games to go away from a 60 homer season. Like,
Pretty cool.
yeah. I am really, really hoping he does it. If he has a 60 homer season, is he going to end up with the MVP? Like, by all measures, Aaron Judge deserves it. Just period. Aaron Judge is a 200 WRC plus with 49 home runs and a 329 average. That is an insane season where he's walking 18% of the time, and yet voter fatigue might make it so that he doesn't win the MVP. Like, Cal is doing incredible things, and a 9 WAR season as a catcher is insane. Doing it with 60 home runs is even more insane, but the power and the defense is really all that is doing it. Like, he's not absolutely knocking everyone's socks off with his batting average or with his steals or with any other part of his game. It's power, 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 and defense, and he's great at both. Judge is just having a all-around spectacular season again. Coming up on 10 WAR. Like, but yeah, so
yeah, I think the voter fatigue could be a real thing that would make it closer. But I think most voters that are like looking at the big picture are probably going to still side with Judge, and that's what I would do if I had a vote.
yeah,
But you're
same.
right that, like, just because it's such a kind of unique season, it could give some more votes to Raleigh.
Well, because, like, think about it. Judge got the MVP in the 62 homer season, but really Shohei probably earned it more that particular year. So I could see Cal winning it based on voter fatigue, and very deserving season. Don't get me wrong. Any other season, slam dunk MVP. But Aaron Judge is not just a Yankee great. He is an all-time great.
Yeah.
Period.
We should talk about that too. I mean, he just broke some all-time records for Yankees home runs. He moved up into 4th place all-time.
Passing Lou Gehrig, right? Or no, Lou Gehrig's the next one.
Lou Gehrig's the next one. He just passed
Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio, yep.
But yeah, 364 home runs. I think he's got 100 and something to go before he reaches Lou Gehrig, and then Mantle's in the 500s, and then obviously Babe at 714.
But not 714 with the Yankees. It's in the 600s.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot about that.
But yeah, he's still got quite a ways to go. But I think he's well on track to be able to get to like 500 home runs plus. Especially keeps up his current pace.
Would you believe me if I told you this is actually just Aaron Judge's 3rd best season?
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
By what measure?
Yes. So last year he had 9 more home runs and his batting average was almost the same. He had 2 more WAR last year than he has right now. Then 2022 is 62 home run season. So 13 homers higher, but he still hit 311. That was also his best defensive season. But yeah, so WRC plus wise, this is still only his third best, but it's his third season of his career over 200.
But I think like a couple months ago, we were saying that this was Judge's best season ever. So it's like he sort of cooled off quite a bit.
He did, and then he was hurt for a while, and so like there's a couple of reasons for it. Like the two seasons I mentioned, he played 157 and 158 games. This year, at most, he could play 151. So, like, yeah, it's only 6-7 games, but that's like 2 or 3 home runs for Judge.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think we should talk about the Yankees. Like, he feels like it feels like as other teams have sort of struggled to the finish line, the Yankees almost feel like they're playing their best baseball. They've righted the ship. Maybe mid-season we were talking about like, oh, Yankees really struggling, this and that, but they look good. I mean, but Jazz got his 30-30. Giancarlo is looking like his old self, like crushing homers on a nightly basis, it feels like. They look great. They look like a great team.
yeah, let's see. How many home runs does Stanton have this year? 21. The Yankees have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players with 20 or more home runs. 2 of those are catchers, mind you. They have a 30-30 season for Jazz. They've got what's almost guaranteed to be another 50 homer season for Judge. And then I think the part that has been maybe the most concerning for the Yankees throughout the year has been pitching. And like I do legitimately think it's as Judge goes, the Yankees go, but their pitching has been struggling, especially in the bullpen. They brought so last offseason's acquisition in Devin Williams really is not panning out as well as they had hoped it would this year. He's got a 5.12 ERA, but he has a 2.78 FIP. So yeah. there's a little bit of it here that's the players behind him and not so much him. But they also went out and got David Bednar, Camilo Doval. Who was the third one that they got?
It was a guy from the Rockies that got sent down a week after he got traded for. It was a Bird, Jake Bird.
I thought they got another guy right at the deadline.
It was that guy, Jake Bird.
Oh, it was Jake Bird? I thought there was like another big name.
No, it was just the three relievers that they acquired.
Gotcha.
And Doval's been pretty bad. Bednar's actually been good. But then Bird was a disaster.
And like, Luke Weaver's not as dominant as he was last year in the postseason, but then again, he could turn that around pretty quick. He's shown throughout his career flashes of just being great and then flashes of being pretty miserable. But the guy who's really, really locked it down for the Yankees is Max Fried. Like, I think even this week, Max Fried went out and it wasn't a complete game, but it was pretty close, wasn't it? Like eight innings or... Oh, no. 7 innings, 13 Ks against Baltimore.
Wow.
He had... So the start before that against Boston, he went 5 1/3. But then the 3 starts before that, he went 7 deep, giving up 1 run, 3 runs. So, like, he down in the last month has just been lockdown. He's given up a total of 7 runs this month plus, going back to the 27th of August, with a lot of strikeouts. So that's a signing that you absolutely love as a Yankees fan, especially after the Garrett Cole. Was that I can't remember when that was announced. The Garrett Cole,
Like
Tommy John.
it was in spring training.
Okay, so they signed Freed first.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, but still, you love how well that's worked out, and with Carlos Rodon being just as reliable, um, and pitching a full season, 190 innings so far. He's actually pitched an inning more than Freed. It's when you get down to Clark Schmidt, Cam Schlitter, those guys where it's like, what's happening here? Will Warren's been
You want
okay.
to try that name again?
Schlitter,
You want to try that?
Schlittler,
Schlittler. Yeah.
Schlittler. There's
Yeah.
a second L in
People.
there.
Yeah. People are very concerned on television and radio that they will mispronounce Mr. Cam Schlittler's last name.
Oh, the Blue Jays guy, Buck Martinez, he called him Cam Shitter on air. Oh well.
Oh well. So okay, I got a question for you. So, um, there's been a lot of study on like September performance and then how that carries over into October. And the truth of the matter, we've just talked about the 5 minutes and how they're like peaking at the right time or whatever. But there's really no correlation between your September performance and your October performance. Like that's an objective fact. But obviously, you'd still want to be like on the playing well side rather than going into the kind of limping into the playoffs like the Tigers are and the Cubs are or whatever.
Yeah,
But
and
what team?
honestly, the Tigers might this last week just absolutely shut everybody down,
Yeah,
and I think that would be about right when you would want to start to ramp up is like the last week. Because yeah, you're
yeah.
right. It's over the course of a full month, it does not even somewhat tell you what you're gonna do in October. That last week, it could.
I don't
Like,
know if it does. I don't
I
know if it's backed by the numbers, but maybe.
well, I don't know that it's backed by the numbers either, but like it seems like all the ebbs and flows. You want to start your ebb right before it's important. You don't want your
Yeah.
ebb to be the beginning of September and then all of a sudden you crash out hard in the first round.
There's a lot of also discussions that people have had about like uh, the whole rest versus rust, going into the bye, not playing games, and then another thing I'm thinking about is playing competitive games. Like the Cubs have known they've clinched the division since last Wednesday or something, Tuesday. No, I think Wednesday. And then the Brewers have known they've made the playoffs for like multiple weeks. So they haven't really been playing the most competitive games. I mean, they're professionals and everything, but it's just different when you're playing for your season's life, like the Mets are and the Tigers and the Guardians will be this week. It's almost
Yeah.
like you want to play those high intensity games heading right into the playoffs. So then you're almost like geared up for that environment because you've already been playing them.
Yeah. And because it comes down to even managing as if you're in the postseason in that last week, if you're just trying to get to the postseason. It's like you have an extra week of just, okay, we're going to pull this guy early. We're going to go to the bullpen. We're going to
Yeah,
lock
they
it
are playing.
down.
Yeah.
So, which I think kind of gives the Reds maybe a leg up here with Tito. Like, Tito's been there, done that so many times that I kind of think he's might be able to get the most out of this Reds team. And I'm kind of scared about what they could do if they make it.
Yeah, he's a great tactical manager. I've always thought so, and he's always the guy that makes the right like pitching changes and stuff. Um, yeah, they also based on our schedule analysis, it seems like they've got the clearest path to actually making the playoffs.
Yeah. And now, even though they're technically tied, um, they're in the driver's seat.
Yep.
They have the tiebreaker. As long as they just match pace with the Mets, it is theirs. Well,
Indeed.
assuming the Diamondbacks don't go do something stupid and, like, I don't know, win out.
Yeah, that would be funny.
That would be hysterical. I would love to see that.
I would also love to see that, especially since the Diamondbacks traded all their players at the deadline. They basically said, "Yeah, we're not we're not really in it, but here they are." And I think we talked about them in the early September episode, and we said they could be like this. You said that they could be the spoiler because they had so many games against contending teams, but they
Mhm.
ended up winning so many of those games that they put themselves in
They,
position to make the
yeah,
playoffs.
they accidentally became a contender.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you beat all the contenders, you end up becoming a contender.
Yeah. So I think I pretty well called that, though, about them being the
You
spoiler, right?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess we didn't expect them to do this well against all those teams.
Well, no, I picked them to be a spoiler, not a contender.
Yeah,
So yeah,
no.
but if they become a contender, then technically you picked the right spoiler.
Okay. I think we should talk about it. What's a team that we haven't talked about here that's going to the playoffs or is on the
That's
periphery?
but the Padres,
Padres? Okay.
because the Padres are basically sitting pretty in that second wild card spot. They have a chance to
Yep.
beat out the Cubs. They also still technically have a chance to lose out altogether, but that's going to be really, really hard for them to lose out altogether.
Mhm.
If they win one more game, I think that's their clincher. So,
Yep.
yeah.
They're they've kind of looked like they've been in pretty good position for a while. And yeah, I mean, I think things are shaping up decently well for the Padres. Like they're getting healthier. They got Michael King back. Yu Darvish has been back for several weeks now. So full bore for the playoffs once again for the Padres.
And then it was the Padres and Brewers, right? Yeah, Padres, Brewers, and then Padres, Diamondbacks. So to finish it
So
out.
that'd be actually interesting if that series means something to the Padres, or maybe they would have like already locked in their position and they won't care by that point.
Yeah, I mean, if they win one game, I think they've pretty well solidified the second wild card spot
They can
because
still catch the Cubs though, right?
that's true.
Yeah.
Um, but depending on how the first series goes, they might honestly just kind of run out getaway day lineups and things against the Diamondbacks, and if the Diamondbacks are still in it, maybe they squeak in.
Yeah. While the Marlins are beating the Mets or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Padres, how much do you know about the Padres this year? Because everything that I look at, the Padres don't have any players that are really in those leaderboards. There's no guys at the top of the home runs leaderboards, no guys near the top of the steals leaderboards. Well, I guess Tatis at 32. Um, there's not really any guys at the top of the batting average leaderboards or anything like that. So, like, has everybody just had like a solid, not great season, and that has put them at 85 wins?
I think they feel like a team that has such a high floor because they've got all that superstar talent with Machado, Tatis. Even if they're having kind of down seasons, they're still good enough to the point where they really can't like have a bad season. Except we saw that one bad season. What was that, like 2023? I think, where
Yeah,
they
I
were
think so.
ridiculously unlucky and they ended up missing the playoffs. And
Yeah.
then they clearly bounced back, and now they're kind of back at that same type of level where this is what they've been built to do. They're good. They're going to be good over the long haul because they're a extremely talented team, and then they're another team that's really built themselves for playoff baseball with the super bullpen. I mean, what bullpen is better than the Padres when you have Mason Miller setting up for um, Robert Suarez, and then you've got Adrian Morahone and Jeremiah Estrada, and it's just one guy after another where they don't need to really get more than like 4 or 5 innings from a starter. They can just go to the super pen.
Yet between Nick Pivetta and Dylan Cease, who are both two of the top 25 pitchers in the league right now, they're getting 5-6 innings.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they got good starters too.
Yeah, like, so you go 6 innings of really good start, go to your top 2 relievers for that game, and then you rest them the next day and go to the other 2 the day after. Like, you're kind of set up perfectly right there. But yeah, because like both Pivetta and Dylan Cease are like floating around that like Sonny Gray, Matt Boyd, Jake DeGrom range in pitchers for this year. So like really good, but not good enough that anyone's really paying attention. So this is a team that I just haven't heard anything about this year, which is weird because I feel like usually the Padres are a team that I really like and try and pay attention to at least. So
good point. Like, yeah, they haven't had like the standout season. They haven't had Arias hitting 350 or something, or Tatis doing crazy stuff. Like, they're all having solid seasons.
They haven't set the single season record for Grand Slams again. Like,
exactly, yeah. So it's like the luster is off the Padres, but they're actually a super good team.
This actually might be one of the best teams they've put together in a couple years.
I would say so, yeah.
Just because of that. Like it's just so consistently good. As opposed to like also, flash in the pan, going up like popcorn.
Longtime favorite of mine, Ramon Laureano was a trade deadline acquisition. And have you seen the season this guy's having? He's having the best year of his career. He's been insane.
I knew he was having a really good year. I do not know exactly how good that is. When was his suspension for PEDs? Was that last year?
That was several years ago. No.
Or was that 2022?
I think it was probably 2022.
Okay. 282 with 24 home. Wow.
What's his OPS?
Crap. You're gonna make me do math. 862.
Yeah, I mean 862 OPS for Ramon Laureano.
And a 139 WRC plus. He's only been above 110 twice in his career. Oh. And one of those, he only played 88 games. Huh. Well, I'll be.
Yeah.
Not Albies. I'll be.
But I've been closely eyeing the Padres because it's been looking like for a long time that they would be the team to face the Cubs here in the first round wildcard series.
That'll be an interesting series.
I think so. I think it should be a good one.
All right. What do you say we cap off the episode here with a little bit of the recognition for players on teams who might not be in the postseason hunt? Guys who just recently, actually, some of them are back in the postseason hunt now. Corbin Carroll today, 30th steal, gives him a 30-30 season. Julio Rodriguez only needs 2 more steals to get to a 30-30. Jose Ramirez, after I thought the Guardians were done and the only thing that they were fighting for was for him to hit 30-40. He's got 30-40 and they're only a game back. So everybody that I wanted to recognize is now just gonna be in the postseason, maybe.
Pete Crow Armstrong, 29-35, I think.
Still. He's been at 29-35 for like 3 weeks.
Well, he's had some more steals, but not.
Okay, well, he's been at 29 home runs for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
see, what was the Jazz did just hit his 30-30. And then I believe the other two guys that I'm still looking for to do something kind of cool, both of them are on the Mariners. Both are going to need a pretty darn good final week to get it done. But Gino Suarez can, one, break his own record for home runs by a Venezuelan player, I believe. Is that correct? Because
I remember he hit 49 home runs that one year with the Reds.
Yep, and I believe Sal Perez at 48 was second most for a Venezuelan player. I believe I'm getting their home countries correct.
Yeah, they are.
Yes,
Venezuelan.
yes.
Yeah.
Gino's at 47. If he has a 3-homer week, which is very doable for Gino Suarez, 50 homers, breaks his own record, gives Seattle 2 50-homer guys. Granted, Gino wasn't there the whole year. He was a trade deadline acquisition. But it's a lot of power in your lineup going into the postseason. Then they also have one of my favorite guys in the league that is not on the St. Louis Cardinals anymore. And that is Randy Arozarena. And he is at 27 home runs and 28 steals. Do you think he can do it? I'm going to guess probably not, but
I think they're home all week. That does not bode well for either of those guys to hit more home runs.
What about Frankie Lindor needing 3 home runs for a 30-30?
Maybe. They need it. The Mets need it bad.
Yes, they do. How about Bobby Witt Jr., 7 home runs this week?
Let's do it. They just scored 20 runs the other night.
Did they really?
Yeah.
And not very many of them were home runs for him.
No.
Maybe one, because I think he was at 22 before that.
Maybe the most surprising 2020 season ever, Josh Naylor reached the plateau.
Oh, he reached 2020?
He did, yeah.
And Soto got his 30-40.
Yeah.
Or no, his 40-30. 40-30, sorry.
And,
had it backwards.
Yeah, and Soto has now hit a career high, 42 home runs in a season? Which is incredible.
Did he have one today? Oh, no, yeah.
I think he had one
yesterday, 42.
Yeah.
When the home run leader for the Mets is not Pete Alonso, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Buxton, Twins are out of it this week. Go crazy and get 6 steals.
He's just trying to stay healthy. He's hitting those performance bonuses for plate appearances. He actually reached like one of the thresholds.
He is at 516, and I can't remember what all the thresholds were, but it
was like 500 and every like 50 after that or something.
6 games. It's like 24, so he'll be at like 540 roughly.
Yeah.
The end of the season.
Okay.
And still, that's a really, really good and healthy-ish season for Byron Buxton.
Absolutely.
If he makes it through this week, that's 126 games. How many seasons has Buck played 126 games?
One other season, I believe.
Do you know which one other season?
It was like his first full season.
By his standards, it was his second.
Okay.
Because
what year was that?
2017.
Okay.
So, because he played 46 games in 15, he played 92 games in 16, which, based on his track record, is a full season.
That's a full season.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but yeah, 17. He had 140 games played. However, this is actually still, in a sense, the most that he's ever played, because he has already eclipsed his career high in plate appearances by 5.
Nice.
So, yeah, actually, it's a little weird, the plate appearance numbers that they came up with, because he had only ever reached the first one time in his career.
Yeah, and that's why the deal was kind of so team friendly because it wasn't team friendly. It was fair to both sides in the sense
Yeah.
that it gave him a good base salary, but the chance to do a lot more if he was able to stay healthy, and he's kind of done that this year. So good for him.
So I think maybe my last question for you then, and let's look at this by American League only. For Buxton, he also has something in his contract regarding
MVP, right?
yeah, MVP shares. He is currently 8th in the league in WAR. But I would argue that Buxton's probably going to get more MVP votes than a guy like Michael Garcia, who is ahead of him in WAR. Probably more than Jeremy Pena. So do you think Buxton could end up squeaking into the top 5 MVP voting and then raise his bonuses even more? Because I think it's if he's top 10, it's one. If he's top 5, it's another, and or maybe top 10, top 3, win it.
Something
maybe
like that, yeah. I think so, yeah. I think probably top 5 is a little too much to ask, but top 10 seems very likely at this point.
So, I mean, if you're a Twins fan, you're very, very happy with this Buxton season.
You're not happy with anything else, but
no, you're very upset with everything. You're upset with Royce. You're upset with Jose Barrios. Yeah. Yep. You're still upset about Barrios going to the Jays. I didn't realize Gunnar was actually having a really good season. Not so much on the homer side, but everything else, he's been pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, he was a top 2, top 3 MVP guy last year.
Yeah. But slumped hard at the beginning of the year, though.
A little bit, yeah. Injury.
Cool. Well, I think we have covered pretty much the entire postseason picture as it stands right now. We have talked about some guys who have hit some big milestones. Ooh, there is actually one more that I forgot to mention. One thing that you and I were both looking for, it does still technically have a chance to happen, but he kind of hurt himself last game going 3 1/3 against the Cubs and giving up 4 runs. Paul Skeens sits at 203, and he has one start left on Tuesday against the Reds.
It's a big game.
And I believe it's in Cincinnati, is it not?
I think so, yeah.
So can Skeens get his ERA under 2?
I think he can. I still think he's obviously amazing. He had a really pretty bad start last time out, which surprised me. But the Reds are not exactly a, awesome offense. So he can dominate them on Tuesday.
Can I make a bold prediction here?
Go for it.
Paul Skeens, final outing of the season. He's not pitching in the postseason. I think he's going to gas it up a little bit. I think he's going to strike out 10 plus, and I think he's going to go a complete game.
Oh, wow. Okay. Bold prediction.
I told you it was bold.
Yeah.
But how cool would that be?
That'd be very cool, especially for Mets fans.
Yeah. So that's my bold prediction. Paul Skeens, CG, 10 plus Ks to get his ERA under 2. And if he can manage to do it without giving up any runs, just a CGSO, I think that might bring him back down to like 1.9. So it also put him at 190 innings.
Yep.
Wow. Cool. Well, that pretty well wraps it up for us here at Getaway Day for the week of September 21st. If you didn't remember the 21st night of September, well, you do now. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. If you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcasting app or YouTube to make sure you don't miss any future episodes. Join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Getaway Day Pod. If you enjoy card collecting, check out our sister YouTube channel at Getaway Day Cards.